Good evening, I am Gimbal B, and this is the first in a series of CPM1 candidate interviews I'll be doing. Tonight I'm joined by Matthew Dust. How's it going, Matthew?
Pretty good. Spartacus Dust on Dust side, just sort of a clarification.
Okay. Spartacus, would you like to give yourself a brief introduction?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Gimbal. Um, so I play as Spartacus Dust. I used to be Levi McDaniel for the Phoenix Federation. I was one of the founders of that corporation. I chose Spartacus Dust to kind of separate from that old history um, and kind of move towards a new project, which was Molden Heath. I really wanted to focus on linking the two games together and working with other corporations and alliances on doing that.
So, as far as playing Dust, what kind of role do you play as?
When I do play Dust, I primarily play logistics with a mass driver and flux grenades. Uh, support my team, drop ammo, uplinks, that sort of thing, repair tools, active scanner. Uh, so I basically provide the intel. I like pausing my map a lot and seeing where the enemy is and moving and providing that kind of information to the guys on the ground. And then when I'm not playing Dust, I'm actually in Eve, shooting other Eve pilots who are doing orbitals against our corporation or a friends or allies corporation.
How are you doing as far as the Eve Dust link?
Uh, it's been fun. We've gotten in a couple fights with Public Disorder and Renegade Alliance, who are currently at war. So it's definitely made diplomacy interesting. But it's really surprising. A while back ago, it would just be one lone catalyst sitting on a district, and now it's like, 7 versus 7 fleets battling it out above the district for the right to drop orbitals. So I think the link is becoming stronger, but I would like to see it a little bit more improved.
Well, it's good to hear that it's coming along. A lot of people were a bit skeptical about how that was going.
Yeah, it's definitely growing. Renegade Alliance is here, Public Disorders here. Uh, Covert Intervention has a presence, as well as I've seen a couple Paradox pilots, not many. But I mean, like everything's kind of growing, and people are getting more interested. But I feel like CCP has focused too much on faction warfare and not enough on planetary conquest. So people are more interested in doing that. I know Covert Intervention's really big on that, and actually I whip my slaves back and forth from the Cluster Coalition. Goons and all them. They're interested in doing that, and doing orbitals for Dust too. But that's faction warfare. I want to see PC expand beyond Molden Heath and players to really see Dust as an asset. In faction warfare, it's kind of like a perk, but in planetary conquest, it's it's an asset to have both.
Okay. So moving on to the CPM itself, what made you interested in running for the CPM?
Well, my primary concern with the CPM is that I feel like a lot of it's focused on the core mechanics of the game, which is the bugs and time to kill and all that stuff. And I feel like CCP is actually competent enough to they know what they're doing. I feel like they're capable of fixing those problems on their own, whereas motivating CCP to really push for fixing the market and expanding planetary conquest, maybe allowing Dust players to drop those installations and possibly even place the structures on the map. I mean, that's what I want to focus on, is really creating that link and not so much the core mechanics, and that's something that kind of differentiates myself from some of the other candidates.
So I guess I have two more questions about the CPM, and then I think we'll wrap this up. But the first one is, what are you expecting out of the CPM? Like, what do you expect once you're actually on board and giving feedback?
I expect to see soon TM, the trademark, to become soon. Just regular soon, like things will actually start coming along. I've talked to some of the other candidates who are running, and a lot of us agree that the economy needs to be fixed and interlinked, and CCP needs to really focus on the link between the two games a lot more. So that's one of the things I expect that the CPM will be working with CCP on.
Okay, but are you prepared for I guess it would be, I actually don't know what time zone you're in. You're in Pacific, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Pacific time zone.
So that would be fairly early in the morning, as far as meetings with Shanghai.
Yeah. I'm usually up. I usually go to bed around like 4 a.m. because I'm busy dealing with all the Eve politics and blasting other people and running fleets. Two of my guys in my corp, they're in Japan, and I got other people in the UK, so I try and be on as much as I can.
Okay. And final question, what do you think you bring to the CPM?
I think I bring a little bit more variety because, as I mentioned before, I think a lot of the candidates are focusing on, they're really focusing on stuff that's definitely already going to come, like the racial variants of the suits. We know those are coming, but people are like, oh yeah, we're going to push for this, and we already know it's coming. I'd like to push for the things that we don't know when they're coming or if they're coming at all. And, I really want to focus on linking the two games together, as well as expanding Dust and the community between the two.
Okay, I guess that's us for this interview. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to share before we end this?
I think Dust is a phenomenal game. I got into it. It was really awesome, and it's what got me into Eve. And I would really, really like to see the two games linked together. I want to thank all the people who have supported me so far, and potential supporters. I really appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to having the chance to at least put some insight out there that maybe, if not elected, the other CPM will consider.
Okay, well, thank you, Spartacus, for joining me tonight. And this will be the first CPM interview I've done, and there'll be more coming on the way. I know there's a couple more people who are interested. So for those listening, stay tuned, and thank you.